BBC Two, we continue our series of Elisabeth Schwarzkopf Masterclasses, recorded at the 1980 Edinburgh Festival. In tonight's programme, she helps two gifted young singers to perfect their interpretation of songs by Schubert and Hugo Wolf.
The voice of Elisabeth Schwarzkopf, one of the most celebrated sopranos of our time. Her career spanned some 40 years, embracing opera, operetta and lieder. Since her retirement from concert performances, she's concentrated her energies on teaching, and her first public masterclasses in this country were recorded by BBC Television during the 1980 Edinburgh Festival. In tonight's programme, she works with two gifted young sopranos on music by two composers with whose songs she became closely identified, Schubert and Hugo Wolf. We can recall her artistry for a moment through an extract from a BBC television recital she gave in 1958 with Gerald Moore at the piano, a song from Hugo Wolf's Spanish songbook.
In dem Schatten meiner Locken für mein Geliebter ein. Deck ich ihnen auf. Ach nein, so sträub ich meine krause Locken täglich in der Frühe. Doch umsonst ist meine Mühe, weil die Winde sie zerzausen. Lockenschatten, Winde sausen, schlüpferten die Lüstern ein. Weck ich ihnen auf. Ach nein, Himmel muss sich wegrennen und aus dem Schmachten schon so lange, dass ich Leben geb und nehme diese meine braune Wange. Er nennt mich seine Schlange, doch schön bei mir ein. Weck ich ihnen auf. Ach
Elisabeth Schwarzkopf, televised in April 1958. And so to Edinburgh 1980. And with her, as she comes onto the platform of the Freemasons Hall for these masterclasses, is the pianist Roger Vignoles. We'll return to music by Hugo Wolf later on. But to begin, part of a session on Zuleika, the first of two songs with that title by Schubert. Schwarzkopf is working with Jane Mackenzie, a Canadian soprano who's won a number of awards and is now studying in London. She summarizes the text of Schubert's song, which incidentally was also set to music a few years later by Mendelssohn.
And this will be, we're trying to work on Zuleika, Schubert, Zuleika 1 for that matter. Was bedeutet die Bewegung? It's a Goethe poem. And perhaps you would like to say something what it's all about, just brief.
Zuleika is a Persian girl, and the first section of the song is a description of the east wind, and Zuleika imagines that the east wind is carrying messages from her lover. And in the second part of the song, she realizes that only his mouth alone can speak the true words of love.
That was lovely, beautifully condensed. Here we go.
Was bedeutet die Bewegung? Bringt aus mir frohe Kunde. Seiner Schwingen frische Regung kennt des Herzens tiefe Wunde.
Stop it. First, could you turn a little bit more towards me, just a wee bit? Sing on the slant there. That's so I get the slant and they get the slant, right? Now, look, when you put that question, was bedeutet die Bewegung? You still have to give me every note in the resonances of those small notes. They usually disappear very much. We have been working yesterday a little bit with all of them to get acquainted, and I have been giving them some news already about how to use the German language when sung, which I find that every young singer is very diligent in learning all the languages, how they are spoken. Now, our language, which happens, I can't help it, to have some of the loveliest songs, it isn't sung as it is spoken, because our language... Have you ever heard the record of Beethoven? You haven't. Well, a French comic who took all kinds of languages off, as man say so, and ours was Schlag, Krach, Macht, Pracht. Well, such it is. And it's very chopped, and now we have to try and make it unchopped and make it singable. That means lengthening the vowels, of course, as much as we can. There are also some terrible pitfalls in the unstressed second end syllables of our words, which we usually pronounce as zingen, and when that is sung, it's just too horrible. So people are trying to pronunciate very nicely, and that has to go, I'm afraid, quite often. Pronunciation, all right, but there is something like phrasing and overall color in a phrase, and now we'll come to it anyway. Now, the small notes, please, have to be, in spite of being a question, they have to be in the resonance, not just... Try and sing this staccato for a moment, the vowels. Could you?
Yes. The whole phrase.
Yes. Yes, and I want to hear that while you're putting that question. And now sing the words.
Was bedeutet die Bewegung?
And now do it with expression.
Was bedeutet die Bewegung?
Yes, fine. And you did, I noticed already, you didn't put the two T's in, which we talked about it yesterday. Because many people do was bedeutet die and put a lot of real tea time in there, which isn't. Which makes holes in the language, holes in the legato. So try again. And besides, while you are questioning, you have to think already, frohe Kunde, bringt mir froh, you're expecting frohe Kunde. So don't say just Bewegung. It's already, think to the end of the question, bringt aus mir frohe Kunde. Na? Frohe. Ja?
Das bedeutet die Bewegung.
No. You have to think forward to frohe Kunde. Was bedeutet die Bewegung? Bringt aus mir frohe Kunde?
Yes.
Nicht, was bedeutet die Bewegung? Bringt aus... No. Huh? Start. Already you have to be in this.
Was bedeutet die Bewegung? Bringt aus mir frohe Kunde. Seiner Schwingen frische Regung kennt des Herzens tiefe Wunde.
Yeah, but now in this phrase you have to think forwards to kühlt des Herzens tiefe Wunde. Think to the end of the phrase and make it that an answer, not quite an answer yet, but an answer to that question. This is calling it. Yes. Make it affirmative, the second phrase. Huh?
Seiner Schwingen frische Regung kennt des Herzens tiefe Wunde. Seiner Schwingen frische Regung kennt des Herzens tiefe Wunde.
Yeah, but now you have repeated repeated twice the same words. Don't you think they should have some different meaning, like, for instance, more inwardly or more expectantly or more affirmative, but just different?
Yes.
And since it is going up to the major key, it should have lightened up the voice, brightened the voice there. For that change of harmony. Yeah, that's the trouble with those eternal triplets there. Yeah, I know, I had the same difficulties. Look, they have to be legato, and the German triplets in German music are very much spread out, and they mustn't endanger, of course, the general tempo there, but please try and spread every German triplet out as much as you can without getting out of tempo.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you did say Kühlung. We don't say that. We say Kühlung, not Kühlung, with a K behind there. Huh? Or frische Regung or something. Frische Regung.
Yes,
Huh? Get up an octave higher there.
All right.
Yeah. Fine. Oh, do we have this bamboo? Is there an accent? Is there?
No,
Oh, I was just wondering. Aha. Don't peck at the nose. Spielt der mit dem... It's not... Try sing long, long vowels. Don't peck. No?
Mit dem Staube.
Not Staube, Joho, yoho. Another one of those. I had yesterday already quite some conferences with all of them, and they were never aware. Nobody ever is aware of the H's, nor, for that matter, was I, or was colors in the beginning. Yes, I did learn it with my teacher, but then I forgot all about it again, and they crept in every moment until I got some sterner advice, and then I now know that one can really get rid of them. And it does enhance the music if you know how to sing real legato without H's or without even making step-like things. No? It would be as if a violinist would eternally play this instead of things on one bow. No? So, not Stahau. No?
Spielt mit dem Staube.
Ja. Guck, es ist ein Staube. Staube mit dem Staube, not Staube. Simply because it's going up, don't stress it. No? Make it diminuendo.
Spielt mit dem Staube. Jagt ihn auf in leuchten Wölkchen.
Now, in between would be the right thing. That was now too short, that böhm. In those lovely lyrical poems, it is not necessary in the German language to pronunciate every R on the small words like der und zur. That is very stilted sounds. It sounds to us very stilted. Not even a great actor who would perhaps recite the poems, or a great actress, would say that. There's a slight diphthong one does, albeit not in dramatical songs or not in the opera. You have to give them there every time. But in those poems, which should sound as if you would recite them privately to yourself.
Yes.
One must get rid of a lot of stilted pronunciation habits. Now, treibt zur is a kind of a diphthong. Zur sichern, auch nicht sichern, it's not necessary. Sichern Rebenlaube, der, not der Insekten, der Insekten. Froh, that yes, froh is Völkchen. Huh? You see, people always think I can make them do this all after an hour of a half teaching through. It's impossible because there are so many little things out of which a performance is made that I don't think any human being can remember all this in an hour. No?
Sicher,
course, also sing it more expansively the second time. I leave this to you. That's really left to your own imagination. Now, here's the word I want to come to in the very first place, and that is imagination. This is something which I find very hard to kindle in today's young artists. They have the voice, of course, and they have the technique, of course. No, that's not a matter of course, but they do. And they have the musicianship, and they have languages, and they have everything. And then comes the moment where they should let their imagination begin to do something with all this equipment. Their equipment, but in the first place was here. And that is a very, very sore point. Perhaps for my generation sorer than for many other people, but I think if you just sing the notes and beautiful phrases and beautiful dynamics and beautiful pronunciations, it will not make people cry or smile or laugh or being gripped in their solar plexus. It's one of those things which, comes the next word, which has to be put on in that same moment, and that's color. Through the imagination, you will put on a different color for different phrases. And that doesn't mean falsifying the language. It means just the color which the heart or the head or the wit or the experience will bring forward. So now, right, imagination. I'll leave it to you how to do the second one. Light it up as you did the previous second repeat of the words. Lighten it or darken it or be more expansive. Yeah. There is no indication.
First and second.
No, come early with the K. Or you're not there with the O on the given sound. No, I have to hear the K. Where's the K?
Kosen spielt mit dem Stabe.
Ja, no, you do mit dem Kosen spielt mit dem Stabe. Long vowels, huh?
Kosen spielt mit dem Stabe, jagt ihn auf in leichten Wölkchen, treibt zur sicher Rebenabe, der Insekten frohes Wölkchen, treibt zur sicher Rebenabe, der Insekten frohes Wölkchen.
That was lovely, beautiful. Now, can I, in the first way you sing about Kosen, you're describing a most marvelous scene. Can I hear that?
Yes.
Can I hear that while you're doing it in the voice? This depict what's happened. Der Kosen spielt mit dem Staube, jagt ihn auf in leichten Wölkchen, treibt zur sicheren Rebenlaub. It's something utterly beautiful, not go no?
Kosen spielt mit dem Staube, jagt ihn auf in leichten
Come early with the come early, or you're not there with the vowel. You see?
Kosen spielt mit dem Staube.
That's pip, pip, pip. Spielt er mit dem Staube, jagt ihn auf in leichten Wölkchen, treibt zur sicheren Rebenlaube der Insekten frohes Völkchen.
Yes.
Kosen spielt mit dem Stabe, jagt ihn auf in leichten Wölkchen, treibt zur sicher Rebenabe, der Insekten frohes Wölkchen, treibt zur sicher Rebenabe, der Insekten frohes Wölkchen.
Now, can I feel absolutely consciously that this is the end, careful, the end of a descripting, and now you're thinking back to yourself.
Yeah.
To make a an ending of the scene there. No? There comes a new thought into your mind. Still, of course, speaking about that wind, but it is a new thought. Excuse me, it's not lindert sanft, lindert, a very soft, lindert sanft.
Yes.
No? Lindert sanft, der Sonne glühen. And there comes one of those famous U's where we were trying yesterday like mad to get the English-speaking people's upper lip into the elephant's trunk position, and they never can. So, yeah, they will by now.
That reference to an elephant's trunk is one of Schwarzkopf's favorite analogies, a way of thinking about how one shapes the mouth to project certain sounds. With such painstaking work on Schubert's Zuleika, it isn't surprising that we've only covered the first two stanzas of the poem. We'll move on now to Christine Taylor and a song by Hugo Wolf. It lasts under a minute, so there was time for several complete performances from this young English soprano. She's already had a lot of experience in opera, oratorio and recitals, and has studied with the renowned baritone Hans Hotter. Hugo Wolf's Ich hab in Penna einem Liebsten, I have a lover who lives in Penna, may be a very short song, but it's a real challenge not only to the singer, but, in its closing bars, to the pianist as well.
One too late. It happens always. It happens to all of us. Now start again.
Ich hab in Penner einen liebten Wohnen, in dem Marne neben einen Wohnen, einen schönen Hafen von Ancona, zum vierten muss ich nach Edinburgh wandern. Ein anderer wohnt in Casentino dort, der nächste liegt mit mir am selben Ort. Und wieder einen hab ich in Magione, vier in Afrika.
We'll have to take it to pieces, of course. Now, that everybody not in grown up in the German language mostly avoids singing fast-moving songs because you have to have a bit of time to think of the next syllable and word and where was it. It's rather courageous to sing something so fast-moving. Now, you did something most unfortunate. Ich hab in Pennar, you said, which well, never mind. Ich hab in Pennar einen. Can you now give me all those notes as if they were staccato? Albeit that you better sing them in a I don't mean short, but they have to go into the resonance, every one of those syllables. Not one of them must go out of your resonance, even down there. And then he is staccato and you sing a little bit longer over them. But I mean that the note has to register, 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 every one of them. Can you just do it slowly? First line. Sorry. The harp is right out of the resonance. No? No, it's half tone up. Nein. Da-dee-dum.
Oh, sorry.
You did it in the song, all right. You did it.
Ich hab in Penna einen liebsten
Yeah. Now do it fast.
Ich hab in Penna...
Nein, that's not high. Da-di, da-da-da-da. All martellato here.
Ich hab in Penna...
You did it when you sang it. No, you're singing B flat instead of B.
Ich hab in Penner einen liebsten Lohn.
Ja, dann, Papa, I must hear that.
Liebsten Lohn.
Yeah, now again. Ich dat, da, di, da, da, ba, 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 ba. Everyone.
Ich hab in Penner einen liebsten Lohn.
There's no R in between Penna and einen. Penna, einen.
Ich hab in Penner einen liebsten Lohn.
Yeah, and now that's out of the resonance. It's out of your voice. No? That's very hard in that register.
Ich hab in Penner einen liebsten Lohn.
Yes, and now faster.
Ich hab in Penner einen
Yes,
liebsten
and much
Lohn.
faster.
Ich hab in Penner einen liebsten Lohn.
Ja.
In der Maremenebene einen Lohn.
Maremen-Ebene, in der Maremen-Ebene. Everyone, have you heard Italians? Patter, 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 every syllable. In
der Marem.
No,
Sorry.
in der.
In der Marem. Oh, sorry. Can I go from the beginning?
Breathe out, concentrate.
I can't think of the...
To play the chord.
Ich hab in Penner einen liebsten Lohn.
Ja.
In der Maremenebene
Einen.
einen Lohn. Einen in schönen Hafen von
No, Hafen goes under. Hafen von everyone.
Einen in schönen Hafen von Ancona. Zum vierten muss ich nach Viterbo.
Zum vierten muss ich nach Viterbo wandern.
Zum vierten muss ich nach Viterbo wandern.
Yeah, now fast. Because if it is all a lot of hot air,
Yes.
it doesn't arrive anywhere there. It's far away.
Ich hab in Penner einen liebsten Lohn. In der Maremenebene einen Lohn. Einen in schönen Hafen von Ancona. Zum vierten muss ich nach Viterbo wandern.
Everyone. Zum vierten muss ich nach. Zum
vierten muss ich nach Viterbo
And
wandern.
now in tempo.
Zum vierten muss ich nach Viterbo wandern.
Ja.
Ein andere wohnt die Kasse.
Vorsicht, es ist eighth upbeat. Da-di-da-dam.
Sorry.
Ja.
Zum vierten muss ich nach Viterbo wandern.
Ja.
Ein andere wohnt in Casentino dort. Der nächste lebt mit mir so Luft. Und wieder einen hab ich in mein Job.
Don't muddle them up. Wieder einen hab ich immer. Ja, pa.
Und wieder einen hab ich in mein Job.
Now, I myself made a mistake. It isn't wieder einen. You sing wieder einen, leave the R away. Wieder, it's not time for the R. Wieder einen.
Und wieder einen hab ich in mein Job.
That's a very nice idea of yours, this to get that word, the Castiglione, but to spell it out for them. That's lovely. But it has to be a bit more significant then. I know what you want to do. You want to spell that name out.
Yes.
In Castiglio. It has to be more überzeugend. Was heißt das? Convincing. Convincing. Huh? 10. And can you take the top note off without anything happening there? Rather, it's easier to sing it over if one can. If one has to take it off in mid-air, it's not everybody's cup of tea. Nah? It's a bit labored though. And
Yes.
do you know Italian women?
Yes.
I don't think they would take all that time.
Okay.
What they want to bring over is the 10
Yes.
in somewhere else. It doesn't really, when you think logically, it doesn't really matter what the place is. Any place, you see?
Okay.
The 10 is what matters in that place. Can you try again?
Yes.
It is a nice idea, but I find it makes it labored. Huh?
Und wieder einen hab ich in mein Job. Vieren auf der Job. Castiglione.
Yeah. ja, du. Und wieder einen habe ich in Magione, in close down, quer in la frata. You have to think through. Play, act with your face. That song you can really act with your face if you think what you're saying. Huh? Don't lose that tension. Vier in la frata, 10 in Castiglione.
Und wieder einen hab ich in Magione, 4 in la frata.
Don't be coy, 4 in la frata. No. You're boasting to all your other girls there. Ha! Don't be too kind of forename. It's not a dignified young lady. It isn't.
Yes.
No. 4 in la frata? No.
Und wieder einen hab ich in Magione, 4 in la frata.
No. 4 in la frata? No. Und wieder einen habe ich in Magione, 4 in la frata, 10 in casa. Into their faces. Huh? You sing that to your girlfriends. Huh? Or to that one man who doesn't want to believe it. Into his teeth, right?
Und wieder einen hab ich in Magione, 4 in la frata.
Yes. You build yourself up from that very first moment you start saying how many you have if you sing it to that man, yeah? Don't just sort of make little thing. And you would have to if you want to sing that full force out. Don't go under. Show him your teeth, show him everything. Sure. Most certainly. No? Try again. Shall we do the whole song again?
Yes.
Into the teeth of whatever you imagine, to the other girls or to that man.
Ich hab in Penna einen liebsten wohnen, in dem Maremmen lebt einen Orden, einen schönen Hafen von Ancona.
Yeah,
Zum vierten muss ich noch
I don't hear to whom is that meant.
It was with the other girls.
Aha, all right, then we stick to the girls. Good. All right, then make it more clear to me. You being the much superior one, you have many more than they have. All right.
Ich hab in Penna einen... Ich hab in Penna einen liebsten wohnen, in dem Maremmen lebt einen Orden, einen schönen Hafen von Ancona. Zum vierten muss ich noch wieder wo wandern. Ein anderer wohnt in Casentino dort, der nächste lebt mit mir am selben Ort. Und wieder einen hab ich in Magione, 4 in la frata.
It's fine, it works. It's right, it works. Yes, it works. Just hold it for a minute. And now I'm just wondering, I'm sure you have such a talent for really being a bit theatrical. Could you imagine to do it to the man? Because the whole Italienisches Liederbuch is really between man and woman.
Yes.
Can you eventually, not now, but can you imagine eventually to change it to say it to the man who doesn't catch on?
Do you want me to try it?
Huh? Would you like to try it now?
I don't mind, I can try, yes.
Try whether that comes off. Imagine that you're, huh?
Ich hab in Penna einen liebsten wohnen.
Naja, nicht, das ist koi. It's koi.
Ich hab in Penna einen liebsten wohnen.
Can you start much less? Can you already? Ich hab in Penna einen liebsten wohnen. In der Maremme neben einen anderen. Einen im schönen Hafen von Naco. Zum vierten muss ich nach Viterbo wandern.
Ich hab in Penna einen liebsten wohnen. Sorry.
Yeah, it's coming.
Ich hab in Penna einen liebsten wohnen. In der Maremme lebt einen Orden. Einem schönen Hafen von Ancona. Zum vierten muss ich nach Viterbo wandern. Eine andere wohnt wohnt in Carsentino dort, der nächste lebt mit ihrem selben
Hold it. You can go piano on ein anderer. Be a bit more confidential. Ein anderer wohnt in Carsentino dort, der nächste lebt mit mir am selben Ort. Und wieder einen habe ich in Maggio. Build it up. Vom Piano.
Yes.
Ein anderer.
Ein anderer wohnt.
No, not Koi. To him.
Ein anderer wohnt in Carsentino.
Stop, Koi. Ein anderer wohnt. A little girl. You are not a little girl. You are fully fledged.
Ein anderer wohnt in Carsentino dort, der nächste lebt mit mir am selben Ort.
Can you be more confidential in the sort of saying it into his... Ein anderer wohnt in Carsentino dort, der nächste lebt mit mir am selben Ort. Can you? Enjoy it.
Ein anderer wohnt in Carsentino dort,
Enjoy
der
it.
nächste lebt mit mir am selben Ort. Und den Federn hab ich in Vignoles, vier nach Frühe.
But I didn't want you to end that way. I wanted to end you really being all out, laughing full teeth into his face.
Okay.
Can you do that?
Yes.
And even produce the notes?
Try.
Laugh.
Und den Federn hab ich in Vignoles, vier nach Frühe.
Yeah, not by on no account coy little girl. That she ain't. Yeah, fine. Well, you're through the middle, all right. Fine. Thank you very much.
Ich hab in Penna ihr liebste wohnen, in der Wärme über einen Abend, einen im schönen Hafen, zum vierten muss ich nach Viterbo wandern. Ein anderer wohnt in Cassentino dort, der nächste lebt mit ihr am selben Ort.